Hi, my name is Crystal Olivaria. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about, is your child self-sabotaging their career efforts? Discover what a career script is and why it is important. Avoid 3 common mistakes your child makes unknowingly. And learn how storytelling repels or attracts career opportunities. Self-told career stories act like a script your child follows when performing in a school play. Prior to auditions, your child practices a script he or she is given. Your child intentionally acts, walks, and talks like the character he or she wishes to become. Your child practices frequently until he or she becomes that character. During auditions, your child accepts feedback to make the character more believable. When your child is cast as a character, your child continues to practice incorporating the new feedback. Your child is able to easily get into character because of all the rehearsing. Your child finds it easy to become a particular character when handed a script to study. In real life, the script your child is handed is composed of the expectations of society, teachers, peers, and you. What happens if your child is given a script for a character you do not want your child to become? Discover what a career script is and why it is important. A script is instructions on how to become a character, what to say, how to talk, and what kind of body language to use. A career script is a set of instructions on how to become a particular type of character within a profession. A script a child follows to become a surgeon is very different from the script a child follows to become a teacher. Different characters think, act, and behave differently. Over time, your child develops habits, and these habits lead to outcomes. If your child wants to become a surgeon, you and/or a school counselor are probably providing your child a script of medical school is competitive. You need to study and work hard to get good grades. You need to take a lot of science classes. You need to get into a good college because a good 4-year school looks better on a medical admissions application. Plan on spending a lot of time studying for the MCATs, the Medical College Admissions Test. What do you think your child's going to say when given the option of hanging out with friends after school or to study for a biology test? If your child has rehearsed a script, your child will say, medical school is competitive. I need to study and work hard to get good grades. I need to pass my biology class with an A+. If your child wants to become a teacher, you and/or a school counselor are probably providing your child the script of offer to volunteer and be a teacher's aide. That is how you will learn what grade level you enjoy working with. Expect to be a student teacher before you have your own classroom. Expect to deal with behavior challenges from students. You have to learn how to maintain control of your classroom. What do you think your child will say when asked by his friends or her friends about his or her availability to hang out during summer vacation? If your child has rehearsed the script, your child will say, I'm going to be a teacher's aide in the morning so I can learn which grade level I enjoy working with. However, I will be available to hang out anytime in the late afternoon. How your child talks and behaves daily will lead to an outcome that is either in or out of alignment with his or her career goals. That is why your child needs the proper script for a character he or she wants to become. Avoid 3 common mistakes your child makes unknowingly. Every day, your child has the opportunity to practice telling his or her career story. The more your child talks and practices a career script, the easier it will be for him or her to become a character he or she is practicing to become. Practicing a career script has many benefits, but it can also have negative consequences if not done properly. Below are 3 potential outcomes that can affect your child's career if your child continues to use improper scripts. 1. Practicing an unhelpful script. As a young child, I constantly heard the saying that Asians are smart. I interpreted this as I am Mexican and not Asian, therefore I am not smart. I never thought to question this common belief because my peers of Asian descent scored very well on tests and received good grades. Not only did I believe I was not smart, I didn't think it was possible for me to become smart. The story I told myself over and over was, what is the point of putting in the effort to do well in school if I will never be smart? I knew I did not need to be smart to get a job. Watching my grandmother perform manual labor working in the fields proved that I did not need school to get a job. However, I knew education was important to getting a higher paying job. The story I told about myself, about why it was okay not to put in the effort to do well in school, was going to affect my future because I was acting in a self-sabotaging manner. Interestingly, I discovered that the smartest kid in school was just as dumb as I was. When I discovered this, I kept my mouth shut. I did not want to ruin the reputation of a kid who was always nice to me. The kid was constantly praised for his academic achievement and for how smart he was. He was repeatedly told he could become whatever he wanted to be. The kid was envied by everyone, including myself. I believed he was smart because he was born that way, of Asian descent. I also believed that he was the smartest of all the Asians because he was lucky. Do you want to know how I discovered the smartest kid's secret? Every Monday, our teacher would give each student a piece of paper and we would fold it in half to make two columns. Then we would be given a list of words to spell in the left column. After we spelled all the words, the teacher would write the words on the board. We would copy the words on the right column. We would then take a red pen and correct our own work. We would have the rest of the week to study for a spelling test that always took place on Friday. Every week we went through this exercise. One day, a student questioned the teacher as to why she did not give us a list of spelling words like every other teacher. Why did we have to go through this exercise of correcting our own work with the red pen? It does not feel good to see a bunch of red marks all over the page. The teacher replied that if she gave us a list of words to study, we had no way of gauging how much we needed to study. By seeing which words we spelled incorrectly, we knew which words we needed to focus on. We were also able to see how many mistakes we made per word. This was also an indicator of how much we needed to study. Every Monday, I spelled each word incorrectly. I did not just miss a letter or two. I missed multiple letters, and many times I added several incorrect letters per word. My paper was full of red marks all over the place. One day, out of the blue, the teacher said she wanted us to swap papers and correct our neighbor's papers. I cringed with dread because I knew how many red marks my paper would have. I didn't want my neighbor, especially the smartest kid in class, to know how dumb I was. I proceeded to correct the paper of the smartest kid in class while he corrected mine. As soon as I looked down at the paper and I saw a lot of mistakes, I quickly forgot whose paper I was grading. I thought, wow, there's someone else in this class who's just as dumb as me. I feel better. However, when I looked up and I saw my neighbor handed me a paper with a lot of red marks, I felt terrible. I realized that at the end of every week on the spelling test, my paper still had a lot of red marks, while his did not. I thought about how much he would have to study in order to score 100% on each and every spelling test. I looked at my neighbor puzzled while I handed him his paper. The kid looked alone and scared. He knew that I knew his secret. He was not born smart. He had to work hard to outperform everyone. It was at that moment I changed my story. People become smart. They are not born that way. I could become smart if I was willing to put forth the effort. 2. Believing happily ever after is the ending rather than a point in the sequel. As a child, I was read many fairy tale stories that all seemed to have a common ending. There was always a happily ever after ending after a conflict was resolved. As a kid, the stories I was most exposed to revolved around meeting a Prince Charming, overcoming some hurdle to be together, and then they experienced a happily ever after ending. These fairy tales were so much a part of my upbringing that I associated the happily ever ending with other areas of my life. For example, I figured the real life fairy tale was me graduating school in a farming community and heading off to the big city of San Francisco to become a fashion designer. I knew I would experience conflict and challenges in college. However, if I persisted, went to school, got good grades, graduated, got a good job at a good company, then I would live happily ever after. In real life, the story has turned out to be very different from the storytell version. I was laid off from my first job out of college because the company I worked for went bankrupt. The economy was terrible, and there were few employment opportunities in the industry that I had went to college for. I ventured out and explored different areas of opportunity. I decided to acquire an insurance license and become an insurance agent. I believed that once I had my license, I would live happily ever after. That career path did not turn out as planned for numerous reasons. Then, I decided to take a course on internet marketing and I thought I would live happily ever after. Again, I was disappointed that things did not go according to plan. Perhaps I would not have so many unmet expectations if the ending of fairy tale stories changed from, and they lived happily ever after, the end, to, they lived happily ever after, until, name of the next book in the sequel, also known as the next stage in life. Rather than being upset by all these unmet expectations, I decided to change my outlook. Rather than consume fairy tales and find out that real life does not work that way, I decided to consume real life stories that seemed like fairy tales. For example, I love the story of a man who felt like his life was over and he was homeless for 2 weeks, and how he transformed his life and now lives what many consider to be the dream life. He passionately shares that life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I often wonder if it rained while he was alone and homeless. From his story, I have learned that there's a lot of information that has been edited out of the story. In telling his transformational story from failure to success, there is a time lapse of several years that can be summed up within a few sentences at the beginning of this fairy tale story. If you read your child a lot of fairy tale stories or watch a lot of movies together with happily ever after endings, you might want to consider the long-term effects of the message your child is receiving. Perhaps it is time for you and your child to discuss what would happen in the sequel if you both were the authors. By doing this, you are able to spend time with your child enjoying the present story and helping your child develop vision about the future in a fun, creative way. 3. Staying stuck in a beginner's mindset. In high school, I attended Roosevelt High School School of Performing Arts. It was nice because I was given the option to take dance classes for physical education requirements rather than the normal class that involved traditional sport activities like track and field. My freshman year, I took an intro dance class that involved various types of dances. When we learned a new dance, it was on the count of 8. Each combination was broken down into a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is how the teacher was able to communicate to us if we were dancing incorrectly. In the beginning, students argued that their foot placement was in the proper position at the right time. However, the teacher would correct us and say, our foot position was on count 6 when it should be on count 7, so therefore we were incorrect. Since I wanted to be sure I was dancing correctly, I always counted to 8. As I proceeded in my dancing career, I continued to count to 8 in my head while the music played. This strategy worked well until I moved from beginner to intermediate classes. In the intermediate stage, I was expected to be in tune with the music. After learning a new routine, I noticed my peers made more mistakes than me. They no longer counted. Instead, they practiced being in tune with the music. I did not make very many mistakes because I continued to count in my head. I was frustrated and I struggled to receive high marks when dancing, while my peers, who were making more mistakes than me, were receiving praise in addition to receiving higher marks. I was told that my movements did not flow with the music and I looked stiff and rigid. The story I told myself was, I learned how to count and dance on an 8 count, and I will continue doing so I will not make mistakes. I will be a great dancer because I will always be on track with the music. I stubbornly held on to this belief during the beginning stages, and this prevented me from rapidly progressing to an intermediate skill level. I held on to this belief even when my dance instructors instructed me to act otherwise. Looking back, I realized that I hung around a lot of people outside of dance class who were telling a poor me story and felt good about themselves for mastering the basic entry-level skills of anything. These people repeatedly told the same story of their great start. The friends I hung out with were not ambitious, and they never told a story of what's next on my list of things to accomplish. I learned the hard way that you will stay in the beginner's mindset if you do not hang out with people who choose not to upgrade to an intermediate mindset. People who upgrade their mindset are curious as to how high achievers act and behave differently than their average performing peers and look for opportunities to upgrade. These people are always on the lookout for their next script to be cast in a larger, more prominent role. Learn how storytelling repels or attracts career opportunities. Every time your child talks about his or her future, your child is either repelling or attracting opportunities. If your child shrugs his or her shoulders and does not say much when asked about his or her career plans, then your child is giving people the impression that he or she does not care very much about his or her own future. No one wants to go out of their way to assist someone who appears as though they do not care about his or her own self. If your child talks about career opportunities he or she has thoughts about, then your child gives people a different impression. Talking about exploring careers leads others to ask questions such as, have you thought about being a talent agent? You know, a lot of talented people need help finding work. It is okay if your child does not know what he or she wants to be when he or she grows up. As long as your child can carry on a career conversation, your child can be exposed to new ideas. Someone may make an effort to brainstorm other possible careers with your child. What about an event promoter? What about an equipment specialist for the lighting and/or sound? What about a teacher or director of a school play? These sorts of questions can lead to more questions and ultimately a great career conversation. If your child has a few ideas about which career path he or she wants to pursue, then your child can talk differently when asked, so what have you been up to? Consider the following situation. Family friend, what have you been up to? Your child, watching a lot of YouTube videos. Family friend, anything specific? Your child, yeah, I've been watching a karaoke carpooling video about a theater musical production Hamilton. Well, I think it's cool. Family friend, I've heard about that production. Isn't it about America's founding fathers? Your child, yeah, the Late Late Show with James Corden posted a great video of driving around New York singing Broadway songs. It's cool. So far, the video has 7 million views. Family friend, that's cool. There are a lot of great videos on YouTube. I'm glad it is easy to set up a YouTube channel. There's a lot of great new talent. Your child, yeah, I've been thinking about that. You have a few YouTube channels with a lot of subscribers and views, and then you have a lot of channels with few subscribers and views. I would think a lot of people would be willing to pay someone to optimize their YouTube channel, similar to how companies pay people to optimize their website for search engine ranking. Family friend, I think you're right. That sounds like a great career path to explore. Your child, yeah, but it's not a real career. When am I going to tell my mom? She's going to think I'm crazy for wanting to major in something that colleges do not offer. Family friend, good point. You can attend college for a general college major like business management, and then specialize by taking additional courses not offered in college. Your child, where would I go to take a course on how to optimize a YouTube channel? Does that even exist? Family friend, I have a friend by the name of Sue Sierra, who I was talking to a few weeks ago, who wants to put together a course on optimizing a YouTube channel. She was asking for my feedback about what to include in the course. In fact, I took her Hangout Production Secrets course not too long ago. I think more people are going to create their own internet TV shows, so I thought it would be a good idea to enroll in her course to learn more about being a production manager. Your child, that's cool, but I don't think my mom will go for it. She's pretty set on me going to college. College is expensive. I don't think she will want to invest any more money in courses outside of college, when college is supposed to be all I need to get a good job. Friend, family friend. Times have changed. College is a good foundation, but the world is changing quickly, and the college curriculum cannot keep up with all the new job opportunities that are being created all the time. Think of it this way. If your parents are going to invest $100,000 plus in your college education, what is another $2,000 to ensure that what you learn is applicable and that you can get a job in an industry that is emerging with a massive amount of room for career growth? Your child. So how do I approach my mom? How do I convince her to spend $2,000 in something I'm not even 100% sure that I want to do? Family friend. Great question. First, I would check out my friend Sue Sierra online so you know more about her reputation. Then, tell your mom that you want to explore career options and pick the right career major. You do not want her to invest $100,000 plus on a major you're not even sure you like. Tell her you need $2,000 to explore a career option and share with her your thoughts. You are saving her a lot of money, and she's probably going to want to listen. I think you might be surprised by her reaction. She may be more supporting than you think. You are a smart kid. Tell her about what you told me about if people are willing to invest money in website search engine optimization, that they will probably also invest money to optimize their YouTube channel. You can always do research and verify that at this time, search engine optimization is a $65 billion industry. I think your mom would be really impressed and proud of you. I think she may be eager to write a check and pay for some career exploration. As this conversation demonstrates, your child can attract career opportunities to him or her based upon the way your child engages in conversations. Your child may have never gained feedback about possible career options if your child remained quiet and changed the subject to a non-related career topic. Instead of repelling opportunities, your child discovered new ideas, resources, and learned of an interesting approach on how to discuss career opportunities with you. The more comfortable your child feels talking about career options, the more conversations your child will have, and the more opportunities your child will attract. It is important to understand the relevance and importance of a career script. A career script is instructions on how to become a character, what to say, how to talk, and what kind of body language to use. Not having a career script can be just as self-sabotaging as following a non-supporting one. Therefore, it is important your child rehearses a helpful, relevant script. It is also important to set your child up for success by giving your child the gift of healthy expectations. You want your child to move from a beginner's mindset to an intermediate mindset and always be on the lookout for his or her next script to be cast as a character in a larger, more prominent role. Do you know if your child has a career script or what career script your child is practicing? Go talk to your child and ask him or her about his or her career plans and discover what career script your child is using or if your child even has one. Bonuses. Bonus number 1. Founding Father's poem is like rapper's lyrics, inspired Hamilton musical. 60 minutes preview of Hamilton. It's a 30-second video I recommend watching. Bonus number 2. Preview of Hamilton, the musical on Broadway. It's a 57-second video that's really awesome. Again, I encourage you to view it and check it out. Bonus number 3. Broadway Carpool Karaoke Hamilton and More from the Late Late Show with James Corden. It's an 11-minute and 4-second video that's pretty awesome. Go check that one out as well too. Bonus number 4, social proof. I have a picture of me holding up a Hangout production certificate that I completed from Sue Sierra's course. I will have that posted on the blog, so you can go check out the image. If you want to learn more about the course, then I encourage you to visit marketingonline.com/HPS, which stands for Hangout Production Secrets. Sue Sierra has an incredible background in production, and she has been producing Hangouts for Alex Mendozian for the past year. I have seen the quality of production from her shows since I watch Alex Mendozian's Marketing Online web TV show consistently on Fridays at 12 p.m. noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To learn more about Sue Sierra, please visit marketingonline.com/Sue, S-U-E. To check out the show Sue Sierra is a Hangout production manager of, please visit live.marketingonline.com. Bonus number 5. Inspiration for this blog post came from the proud parent Lori Aubin. I have had several great conversations with Lori about her children. It is fun to read her post about her children on Facebook. While Kyle, Lori's son, was graduating from the U.S. Navy Academy, Jacqueline, Lori's daughter, was debuting in a new musical production at Disneyland. She is Disneyland's first ever friend of the singing and dancing Rapunzel. You go, girl! As for a real-life fairy tale, Lori's daughter met her fiancé auditioning for a role in a Disney love story. This is a clip of Jacqueline's daughter singing as a friend of Rapunzel, with her fiancé Caleb singing as a friend of Flynn. This is how their whole love story began. They met at the auditions for this show 3 years ago. Flynn hits the high note at the very end like no other Flynn hits it, like he does. Who would have guessed these two were destined to get married? Check out the video. It's 1 minute and 42 seconds. Disneyland, Mickey and the Magical Map, Princess Melody clip. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would also highly encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my email channel at grabyourfreegift.com/Crystal O and get your free gift of the How, What, and Where Preparing for College. Also, every week I send out a blog post, an inspirational quote, as well as some inspiring bonus content. And I also just want to remind you that in your email to go ahead and create a folder of !career conversationalist. This way, when you get the emails, you can save them so you can easily access them when you want to go back and review them, because there's some really great content. I also just want to take a quick moment to thank Google for all the technology. This is being created on the platform Google Hangouts. And if you're not able to catch the live presentation, then there will be a recording that will be available on YouTube. Thanks again to Google. So thank you so much for joining, and I certainly will look forward to our paths crossing again soon. Take care.